Hey everybody, Rosemutter here, and welcome to part 10 of my Corpse Party Book of Shadows Let's Play. The last episode, Morishige met up with a couple of people. First was the cameraman, who disappeared basically as soon as he showed up. And then he met up with the students from the Byakuden Academy. I think that's what the school, the students that we were playing at the beginning of the chapter. So they were together for a bit. Those students found a friend of theirs who was freaking out, saying that someone was going to kill them all. I don't know if she was having a vision of what was to come, like some of the other students so far who have had like memories of their previous experiences at Heavenly Host, or if it's she ran into the big guy with the gigantic knife, or maybe it's the other student, Kazuma, the really creepy one. Maybe he tried to kill her. So we're back as Morishige. He separated from that group and he is trying to find Mayu. And we're getting more and more creepy Morishige moments. So obviously the darkening is hitting him. He's getting affected. So yeah, let's find out what more creepy moments we have of Shig in this episode. Oh, Mayu.
マユの声だ。今度は間違いない。マユ、どこだマユ。返事をしてくれ。マユ。マユ。
見て、渡り廊下がある。
Oh, Nari.
行ってみよう。
Oh, man.
ナーナいるかもしれないし。
It is so hard to keep track of all these people.
私は武蔵川女子中学校。
Now it's another person. Wow.
天戸谷なり。
My name is Nari Amatoya. I'm a 7th grader in Musashigawa Girls Middle School, Class 1-6.
ナーナというのは私の幼馴染のあだ名。小笠原ナナ。
Nana is a friend I've had since I was a little girl. Her real name is Nana Osawa. Oh my gosh, sorry. Ogasawara.
さっきまで一緒にいたんだけど、廊下を歩いているうちにはぐれてしまった。
She'd been with me up until just recently, when we'd randomly gotten ourselves separated in the halls.
同行者が一人いるんだけど、この子がまた実に頼りない。
I did still have another companion with me, but, well, she wasn't really someone I could count on, like, at all.
待って、なりちゃん。足疲れた。
It's just so hard to keep track of everybody. I'm pretty sure that there were notes about these three.
これでもう何度目の泣き言だろう。
That's how it always was with her. I'd lost count of how many things she'd found to whine about in this place. This was oh my gosh, Chihaya why am I having such a hard time with these names? Oh my gosh, Chihaya Yamase, a fellow member of the drama club. Never satisfied, but never willing to do anything about it. Drama fit her to a T. If Nana were with us, I'm pretty sure she'd give in to Chihaya's whining and insist we take a break. But I'm not Nana, and I won't be guilted so easily.
じゃあそこで座ってなよ。私先行くから。やだ。だって疲れて歩けないんでしょ。歩けるもん。
It really was just like leading a child around. She was as spoiled as could be. I truly felt it wasn't possible for any human being to be more spoiled than Chihaya. But it's not like I could really leave her behind, you know? She'd be dead in no time flat, as helpless as she was.
危ないじゃん。床濡れてるんだから急に飛びつかないでよ。
But at least we're outside. We actually get to see outside, which is nice. And are we going to encounter the other side of the school?
だって雷。雷なんてここでも外の世界でも珍しくないでしょ。あんた家でも学校でも雷鳴るたびに誰かに抱きついてるわけ？ナーナちゃんがいるときはだいたいナーナちゃんに。私はナーナの代用品か？なりちゃん怒ってる？別に とにかく行くよ。ナーナ探さなきゃ。あんたも代用品じゃなくて早く本物に抱きつきたいでしょ。否定しないのかよ。
Seriously? You're just going to agree with that?
こっちの校舎は向こうよりさらにボロいな。なんだか頭が痛い。確かに空気が重いっていうか、長居したくない感じだよね。こんなところにナナちゃんいるのかな。探すしかないじゃん。ナーナだってあたしらのこと探してるはずだし、すぐ会えるよ。すぐってどれくらい？もしかしたらナーナちゃんもう。また始まった。もうそのパターンよしなよ。だって泣かない。私だって怖いんだから。
I told myself that I was going to find Nana in this second building come hell or high water. Failure was not an option. Well, it's an interesting friend group there where it's just like, some people seem to be more friends with Nana than each other. A decaying human head has been forcibly crammed into the top left cubby. It mustn't have been easy to make it fit as there are tiny pieces of flesh and scalp tissue all along the frame. Based on what's left of its facial features and the cut of its hair, this was likely a male middle school student.
気持ち悪い。ちょっと、だからって背中押さないでよ。
Chihaya seemed almost as if she were trying to hide behind my body from the sight of the severed head. She wound up pushing me forward in the process. If she didn't want to see it, she could just not look at it. Why did she need to be so grabby? Worse still, she was pushing me right into the shelf, giving me an uncomfortably close view of the head. Not to mention the things crawling on it.
だから押すなってば。私はあんたの盾か？
Oh, this is gonna be a fun group of people to hang out with. Alright. I'm sure they have been mentioned before. The uniforms look... Oh! Nana! Oh my gosh, wow, that took me way too long to realize Nana was... Well, we know what happened to Nana. It only took me till like, that uniform looks familiar. Not the name. Not the very unique name of Nana. I should have realized. And she was a good character. I can see why they're friends with her and they like her so much. The boys' room entrance is completely boarded up. There's no way to get inside right now. Do you know what lies beneath this school? It's a mire of agony and torment that can drive a man to madness with a single touch. Should I go right there? Oh boy, yeah, there's a lot to check out here first. Okay, let's go over to the music room, and then we'll go to the other room, see if there's anything there. Then we'll check out the upstairs. If things have already been picked over by the other students. I'm dead now. All I've done since I got here is watch out for her. All I've done is protect her. I wish I hadn't bothered. That sounds like the girl we're playing right now. Because in the end, she died too. Stupid, 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 stupid. I'm going to kill her, even though she's already dead. Kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her, kill her. Give me back my life, goddammit.
落としちゃった。もう脅かさないでよ。
Okay, so nothing to get from there. Doesn't look like we have any items. An old piano still seems to be in decent playable condition. Okay, so it looks like nothing really here. Portraits of influential people connected with the school or possibly with this classroom specifically. Not an uncommon thing to find. In this atmosphere, though, it really looks like they're all staring directly at you no matter what angle you view them from. It's creepy. Alright, on to the staff room. That will probably be locked. Or we can't even get there. Large hole in the floor here, blocking the way through the hall. Okay, so we are going to go up to the next floor then. Okay, the art room. Let's check out the art room. Canvas is blank, or it might be anyway. There seems to be a faint, almost imperceptible stain all across it, roughly the shape of a human torso, but it might just be the lighting. The entire canvas is covered from corner to corner with realistic scale drawings of flies, thousands upon thousands of them. The inside of this cabinet is blood red throughout, as if someone very carefully painted it that way. Actually, wait, isn't that a tube of red paint inside? And it looks unopened. In fact, it looks completely untouched. There's not even the slightest indication that anyone has so much as moved that tube of paint in years. Which means this red coloring must be... I say Nari seems like she's taken it pretty well so far. Nothing in here seems particularly useful. Okay, so that's... Okay, no go here, it looks like. What other do we have? Okay. Hopefully one of these rooms will be open. We'll find something eventually. Oh, something's happening here. Oh! Okay, more thunder. The dull, gloomy corridor suddenly lit up brightly for just a moment. And in that moment, something became visible. Ooh, dare I go... Okay. Oh, okay. I was like, is it a ghost? There, glinting in the dim light, sat what appeared to be a component from some electronic device. In contrast with everything else in the school, it seemed like a fairly recent item. A decade old at most, but likely much newer. Is that from the... Is that like a camera or a camcorder battery? Maybe from the cameraman? Might as well take it with us, I figured. Though if I gave it to Chihaya... why do I have such a hard time with her name? Chihaya for safekeeping, it would no doubt wind up on the ground again somewhere, so I decided I'd just pocket the thing. Alright, the door to the reference room is frozen in place, okay. As I figured. And the bucket! The bucket was here, right? And the bucket is gone now because I took the bucket. So I wonder if I hadn't taken the bucket, if it would still be here. Alright, on to the girls' room. There's an excessive amount of human hair jamming the drain, generating an intermittent sucking noise that makes it sound like it's gasping for air. The stench is indescribable and seems to have attracted thousands upon thousands of tiny bugs that have transformed the white basin into a black mass. It's us. God, we look terrible, but then we haven't eaten a thing since we got here. We certainly haven't been able to rest for even a moment. Nope, can't check that out. Ooh, that spooked me. It was louder than I was expecting. There's no indication of anyone occupying any of these stalls, and yet every one of them seems to be locked from the inside. Okay, so that seems to be it, I guess. I guess we're going back down and hoping that whatever that electronic device is can be used for something. Okay. I can literally only go to... Maybe I'll go back to the exit and see if something happens here. Now is the time of the game where I just wander around until something happens. No, I have to fight the temptation to leave. We'll never find Nana if we turn tail and run every time the going gets tough. We're not leaving this building without her. I don't think you're leaving this building at all. Okay, back to the music room then. Nope, something's happening here. Oh, there's a body. On the other side of the hole, there was now a man collapsed on the ground. Oh, that's the cameraman, right? I couldn't see any obvious wounds on him, but he wasn't moving at all. It was hard to ascertain details in this dim light, but he seemed a bit too big to be a middle schooler or a high schooler, and he wasn't wearing a uniform.
誰だろう。学生じゃないみたいだけど。死んでるの？わかんない。大丈夫ですか？怪我してたりとか。
Still no
なん
response.
か物投げてみようかな。いや、まずいか。なりちゃん、これそこに落ちてた。カメラ？あの人のかな？
Oh, so it's probably the battery so they can look into it and see what's on it, and they're gonna see all the dead bodies. And I wonder if they found Nana. Maybe Nana's body will be there. It was a fairly expensive looking DV camcorder, and a well-worn one at that, with dings and chips all over it. Nonetheless, it looked like it probably still worked.
今度は何よ。
Oh, we're back to more Shige, okay.
一体どこにいるんだ。マユ、さっき俺は確かにお前の声を聞いた。会いたいって言ってたよな。無事なのか？怪我はしてないか？怖くはないか？寂しくはないか？くそ！田口さんは何やってんだ？遅いな。何が情報交換だよ。そんなことしてる暇があったら、俺は眉を。
Oh, the head's gone. I just noticed.
くそ！なんでこんなことに。眉、他の奴らはどうでもいいから、せめてお前だけは。
Oh, and there's a body. In my agitated state, I kicked a pair of hallway slippers that were sitting on the ground nearby, and they flew right into the dead girl's face.
死人の分際で、そんなとこに座ってんじゃない。目障りだよ。
Well, I'm sorry for that girl that she's not, doesn't look good enough for your taste.
なんだよその目は。バカにしてるのか。
I grabbed her jaw and began shaking it around and was a bit startled by the sensation. It felt just like I was touching living flesh. Except this person was very, very cold. Cold as a statue. A statue covered in skin and muscle, but a statue nonetheless.
何をやってるんだ俺は。頭がどうかしてしまったのか。死体に八つ当たりするなんて。ああ、すまない。よく見たら目を切られてるじゃないか。これじゃ何も見えやしないな。
It's so creepy, like he has these moments of realization being like, I'm being very odd, but then the next sentence he'll just go right back into being really bad and creepy.
どうした？答えられないのかい？数日前なら君も反論できたろうし、俺の方の一発も引っ叩けただろうにね。残念だな。海田アリサさん。冷静になれ。こんなことしても眉は見つからないぞ。第一、この子は何の罪もない被害者じゃないか。
Get it together, Sakataro. If you keep this up, you'll never find Mayu. Besides, this poor girl is an unfortunate victim. She's done nothing wrong. It's almost like he's trying to convince himself to pretend that he's normal. He's just like, what would a normal person say in this situation? Oh yes, she's a victim, but then I'll talk about how she's basically a bitch, and if she was real, she would have slapped you. Like, my goodness. Oh my god. Like, literally, one sentence to the next.
これから腐っていくんだ。どんどん腐って、肉がぐちゅぐちゅのスープみたいになって、皮膚がたるんで垂れ下がり、 目玉は生卵みたいにこぼれ落ちる。
I thought you said that her eyeballs were slashed out.
トイレの便器よりもひどい悪臭を振りまきながら、腹渡も顔も口の中もウジ虫の餌になっちまうんだ。そうなる前に、
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
綺麗な君の姿を残しておいてやるよ。
Ugh, it's just like he knows, he's like the typical nice guy. It's just like he knows that in the real world girls wouldn't be interested in him, but now it's like he's got the power because they're dead and he can do what he wants with the body and he can talk to them the way that he wants to. I flipped my cell phone back on and switched it to camera mode, centering the lens and the lovely Miss Kaida? Her slashed and broken gaze was focused ahead of her at a downward-facing angle, yet in contrast to these injuries, she wore a peaceful expression on her face, almost as if she were posing for me, just waiting for me to hit that shutter button.
いい表情するじゃないか。いい絵になりそうだ。いいね。アンダルシアの犬って映画を知ってるかい？今の君にぴったりだよ。もう一枚いいかな。ひょっとしたら君は生きてた時よりも今の方が魅力的かもしれない。そんな気がするよ。だってほら、この硬直した方のラインなんか、失礼かもしれないけどエロティックだ。この手首の傷も。
Oh, I tried poking her wound with my finger and heard a moist, squishy sound as my fingertip was swallowed up. Oh, the descriptions are too good. She'd gone cold, but I guess there was still some blood left in her. Either that or decomposition was already well underway. So did she slit her wrist and kill herself and then someone came by later and took out her eyes? Or did someone take out her eyes and she escaped and she figured there was no way she was going to survive, so she just ended it? Like, damn. I pushed farther in, digging my finger through the gaps between our muscles until it struck something smooth and hard. Oh, he's so gross. Oh, just the... Oh, like, I can't speak Japanese, obviously, but just like the inflection in his voice is just like, oh, he's just finding so much pleasure from this, I can tell. As I drew my face into her forehead, a few particles of perfume scented the foul odor of sweat and sebum that had heretofore been salting my nostrils. You're smelling her now. Yeah.
ここに閉じ込められて、ろくに髪も洗えなかったろうに。身だしなみを忘れないなんて、けなげだね。
Can we go back to the other students now? Literally anybody else. I feel like I can only take him in short doses.
でも、君にはこの刺繍と血の香りの方が似合っている。絶対に。俺は何をやってたんだ。死体の写真なんて。
Is he literally going into like a fugue state where like he doesn't remember doing these things? I guess there are situations like that because Naomi was doing things that she didn't remember doing. So he's so gross, but I guess some of it I can't blame on him. It's the darkening. It's whatever's taking over him, but still, ew.
しかしこういう状況ではストレスを溜め込むのは禁物だ。こうして発散させることは悪いことじゃない。
But then he just contradicts himself literally every time. The next, like he has a moment where he's trying to be normal, and then the next he just is just like, it's not harming anyone. They're already dead.
そう、たまたまだ。たまたまここに死体があったから。俺はそういえば。田口さんが警察に提出するためにここの死体を取ってるとか言ってたな。
Come to think of it, Taguchi was taking footage of the corpses in here as well, and he said he was doing it so he could file a police report.
とっくに約束の1時間は過ぎてるだろうし。
He just wants the camera. He wants to look at all those bodies.
探してみるか。
1 hour is long since come and gone. Perhaps it's time I search for him as well.
もしかしたら田口さんが眉を見つけて同行してるかもしれないし、ここにいても始まらない。
Then he's gonna probably come across those 2 girls, and he's probably gonna be all like with oh, what's her name? The sister Yuka, where he's just gonna be like, oh, I enjoy being around these younger girls, and having them be all freaked out. Amidst the darkness of the corridors, I spotted human figures, living ones this time. Oh no, those poor girls. Like, Morshig's not the worst person you could come across in here, but ew. 2 of them, both female and both much younger than I. I approached them without making a noise or saying a single word to announce myself. Already his immediate thought is when he sees them is like, I want to scare them. I want to sneak up on them and scare them.
今度は何よ。
Junior high, I'd guess, maybe 12 or 13 years old. One was clearly much more fear-prone than the other. She wrapped herself around her companion's arm and was actively trying to hide behind her. She was looking in my general direction, but with the lighting as dim as it was, I had no idea whether or not she could see me. And while finding survivors in this land of the dead was a rare occurrence indeed, my focus was squarely on the man sprawled out farther down the hall. He was unconscious, possibly worse, and an uncrossable gap separated us. But I definitely recognized him. It was Taguchi.
田口さん、死んでるのか?
Was I concerned about him? Did I feel for him? Honestly, no. I felt nothing whatsoever at that moment. I was simply asking because I was curious. I'm normally calm and stoic, sure, but this seemed cold even by my standards. Did I really not care one way or another if he were dead?
その人と知り合いなんですか?
いや、別に。
でも今、名前言ってましたよね。これ、その人
Oh
のだと
no,
思うんで。
he's gonna be all like, yes, I'll take this and look at this later. The girl handed me a beat-up DV camera. No doubt about it, this was the same one Taguchi had been looking into when I met him earlier. I took it without a word and immediately tried to turn it on, but to no avail. It had no power. They've got the battery.
使えそうにないな。
バッテリーも落ちてたから拾っておきました。使ってください。
ああ。
Oh, great. You just gave him fat material.
ああ、だって不愛想すぎ。別にお礼言ってほしいわけじゃないけどさ。なりちゃん。平気。どうせ聞こえてないよ。
I placed the battery pack in the DV camera and immediately saw the red power light pop on. Still fully functional, by all appearances.
これで保存してある映像を
Uh.
確認できる。
Now I can check over the footage he's collected.
君たちはここで何してるんだい？
友達を探しているんです。小笠原奈々と桐上光っていう武蔵川女子中学の同級生なんですけど、それから高等部の先輩たちも。私は天戸谷なり、この子は山瀬千早って言います。
そうか、中学生か。そっちの小さな君。
That's not a comparison you want.
何の話ですか？あなたは高校生ですよね。
俺も人を探してるんだ。鈴本真由っていう子。君たち見なかったかい？
それよりまず名乗るのが礼儀だと思うんですけど。
ああ、すまない。俺は森重作太郎。如月学園の2年だ。それでさっきの話だけど、真由を知らないかい？この写真の子なんだけど。
I flipped open my student ID to its photo page, almost as if I were a sheriff flashing my badge. But the responses from these two were not encouraging. They exchanged a quick glance with one another, then shook their heads.
私たちは会ってないみたいです。
そうか。いいんだ。このカメラの中に手がかりがあるかもしれないし。
I rewound the tape a bit and put the camera in playback mode. Immediately, horrifying imagery began displaying on the device's tiny LCD screen. Audio was irrelevant. It seemed like the only sounds on the tape were those of Taguchi's ragged breathing and footsteps, and his occasional self-mutterings. 90% of the video footage, then, consisted of dead bodies, while the remaining 10% was mostly just the camera autofocusing in the dim light. Each body was shot from a variety of angles, so their causes of death could be easily determined. I guess he really was planning on showing this to the police. Did you think that he was just like a fellow creep like you, and he was just coming up with an excuse?
何これ死体ばっか。やだ、私、痛くない。
The two nosy girls were peeking in on the video's contents over my shoulder, and neither seemed quite certain how to react. Don't say that out loud, dude.
随分丁寧に撮ってあるんだな。俺がまだ見てない死体がいくつも。いくつも。これなんてまるでシーレの絵みたいだ。
So many bodies I haven't seen yet. So many. They're like shell paintings. They're so beautiful.
だけど惜しいな。田口さんの視点は作業的だ。映像を見る他人の目を意識しているし、死者に遠慮している。
Still, his
俺
technique.
ならもっと。
So creepy. Still, his technique could be better. He does little to catch the viewer's eye. There's too much restraint, too much distance. If it were me.
なりちゃん。
ん？どうしたんだい？
なんで笑ってるんです？
He's like not even trying to hide it anymore. He's not even trying to like put on the airs of being socially acceptable.
笑ってる？俺が？
笑ってますよ。嬉しそうに。
それは変だな。
なりちゃん。うん。私たちもう行きます。
行く？どこへ？
Don't
友達探してる途中
don't
なんで。
chase them. Don't chase them.
何をそんなに慌ててるんだい？協力できることがあるかもしれないよ。
いいです。私たちだけで頑張りますから。さよなら。
You know how bad it has to be when you're in a situation like this and you have like an older person that normally like they would cling to and be like, please help us. They're like, no, no, no. We don't want to be around this guy for a second longer.
何を勘違いしたんだか。俺のことを変質者か何かだと思ったのかな。まあいい。誤解を解くのも面倒だ。それになかなか面白い反応だったしな。カメラは置いておこう。これは田口さんの目だ。他人の視線で見ても。
Wow, I'm shocked he's actually leaving it.
訴えてこない。俺は俺自身の目で見てもっと触れたい。
I want to keep taking in the surroundings with my own eyes, to keep feeling what the school has to offer in my own personal way.
俺は俺だけのコレクションが欲しい。いや、死者を自分のものにしたいのか。
I want my own collection, or I suppose I just want to possess the dead. I want to make them mine.
待て、何を考えている？俺は眉を探してるんだぞ。撮影はただのストレス発散だ。眉を探す前に俺が自暴自棄になっては話にならないから、その防衛策だ。そう、眉を探すための手段でしかない。目的と手段を履き違えちゃダメだ。だが
But
もっと見たい。
I want to see more. Oh god. There's a big hole in the floor, but who cares about a hole? No mention about Taguchi, huh? Alright. Taguchi is completely motionless. It's impossible to tell from here if he's dead, though, or simply unconscious. After bracing myself for an indeterminate amount of time, the earthquake finally subsided. Oh, there's a candle shimmering here, along with a note. Whatever you do, don't look behind you. What happens if I do? Can I make the choice right now to do it or not? Oh my gosh, I can! Okay, save. Look back. Because of course I will. Oh, hi.
Yamamoto-san. Fukuroi-kun wa?
わからない。さっきまで一緒にいたけど、なんか斧持ってるやつに追いかけられて逃げてるうちに。
そうか。心配だな。無事だといいが。あ、君も怪我をしているじゃないか。
私は平気。この血は私のじゃないから。それよりやっぱりやばいよこの学校。さっきのやつがきっとここに迷い込んだ人たちを殺してるんだ。
僕はそいつを見てないから何とも言えないな。
私
I guess I lost track of the other friend.
絶対私も。
よかったら一緒に来るかい？
いいの？
まあ構わないよ。
Yamamoto, overcome with relief, suddenly grabbed hold of me.
ちょっと。
ごめんね。森重くんは鈴本さんだっけ？彼女いるんだったね。
そういうんじゃない。なんていうか。
So what would have happened if I hadn't
妹み
looked
たいな
back?
ものだよ。
森重くんみたいなお兄さんがいたら退屈しないだ
I
ろう
think she's got a little bit of a thing for him.
そうかな。どっちかっていうと退屈な人間だと思われることが多いんだけどな。特に同世代からは。
People always seem to regard me as a boring human being, especially people of this generation. Well, I have to say one thing he's not is boring. At least not here.
暗いな。ん？山本さん？
ちょっと待って。明かりつけるから。
なんだこの廊下。やけに。そうだ。本館でもこんな場所が。
What an unnerving hallway. It's much darker than the others, but then I suppose there was just one like it in the main building.
暗くて寒いね。
なあ、引き返そう。これ以上は危険だと思う。
でも、もう来た道がないよ。
しまった。
Why did she have that look on her face?
そうだ、山本さん。あのアルコールランプを。
She seemed like very cool with that.
あれはなくしちゃった。でも、ろうそくならあるから。
そんなものじゃ。
あそこに部屋が見えるよ。行ってみよう、森重くん。
待て。危険かもしれないだろう。様子を。
Oh no, what's this? Don't, oh no. Is she darkening? Is she giving in to her, like, desires, or not, maybe not desires, but like, base instincts like Morishige is?
平気だよ。
Oh, what is
誤
this?
解しないでくれよ。俺は、いや、僕は。
それより、少しお話ししない？
Is she being taken over by Sachiko? Her voice sounds a little strange.
私のことは嫌い？しげに。
Oh, she just spoke in my one ear and that's creepy. Oh, what the fuck?
お前、誰だ？
誰だと思う？しげに。
Yeah, that's definitely Sachiko. Don't call me that. I tried to pick myself up off the floor, but she grabbed me tightly by the wrists.
話せ！なんで俺のことを、眉のことを知ってるんだ！
I struggled with all my might, and in the process, I inadvertently slapped Yamamoto, or whoever this was, square in the face.
痛い。女の子に乱暴するの？しげに。
Yep. The skin from Yamamoto's face began peeling back, and a little girl's face burst out from within, covered in blood and muscle tissue. I forgot that she's able to take control of people. I don't even know how it's possible, but black hairs burst out from the Yamamoto suit next, spreading across the ground like a black wing unfurling. Immediately, a musty smell began permeating the air, and I became aware of all the body parts around me. Hands, feet, entrails, and a veritable lake of blood. Oh, this is because I looked behind me, right? This is the bad end. This is a bad end.
お前はいつからマユどうした？
どうしたんだろうね。しげに、しげに、しげに。よく泣くスズメだったよ。今は物静かな。自分の目で確かめるといい。
まさかそんなバカな。
私はお前を見ていたよ。面白い。
She's like, you're as fucked up as I am.
たまにお前みたいなのがいる。この学校と相性のいい変わり種がね。
何なんだお前は。一体俺をどうするつもりなんだ。
怯えているのかい？無理もない。だけど分かってるよ。お前の恐れの対象は生きた人間の死ではない。自分自身の死のみだ。
離せ。俺は
話してやろうとも。歩いていけ。あの扉へ。校舎が案内してくれる。
Oh wow, she's actually, maybe this isn't a bad end after
お
all.
前が探しているあの子のところへ。しげにいないで。今の私を。
Or maybe this is, I'm going back and forth, is this a bad end or is this not a bad end? We knew Maya was gonna die, but...
楽しみだね。お前の反応が。つまらなかったらすぐ殺しちゃうからね。
True to her word, the girl let go of my wrists. Her body then began sinking into the floor, little by little, until there was nothing left of it. It was as if she were lying along the shore as the tide came in and slowly rose above her body, or maybe the school just swallowed her up. The only thing that remained of her were Yamamoto's school uniform and that face mask made from her skin.
これは夢か。それとも俺はもうとっくに頭がおかしくなっているのか。いや、だとしても。
Is this a dream, or have I just completely lost it at this point? Either way,
俺はマユに会わなくてはならない。
I need to see Mayu and take some pictures.
あいつは生きている。そうに決まっている。マユ、今行くぞ。
She's alive. She has to be. Mayu, I'm coming for you. Oh, okay. So we didn't even get to see the... Okay, that was a very abrupt wrong end. I thought there was going to be the actual... He's going to see her and have a freak out. A little disappointing, I gotta say. Now, the one we had last episode with him finding a Yumi, that was a good one.
振り返ったらどうなるって言うんだ。
Alright, let's not look back. Oh, so she still shows up.
来ないで。
どうしたんだ袋井君は。
うるさい。来るなってば。
Whoa,
お前も
what a
お前も
difference.
あいつの仲間なんだろ。
錯乱してるみたいだな。何があったんだ山本さん。
触るな。血が手に血が。お前やっぱりお前も。
誤解だよ。これはさっき死体を調べた時に。
おかしいって思ったんだ。あんなに平気で死体に触って。やっぱりだ。
Well, she's not wrong there.
これじゃ何を言っても無駄だな。
There's no getting through to her in this state, it seems. He's like, that's a shame. She was one of the few I could actually stand.
私は騙されない。もう引っかからない。
やかましい女だ。生きている人間はうるさくてかなわないな。人は寡黙な方がいい。
Maybe that's why he just likes dead people more because they're compliant and they're quiet the way he likes them. Living humans are so irredeemably noisy. People need to understand the value of silence.
山本さん、もう行ってしまったのかい。どこか落ち着ける場所へ行こう。あ、そうだ。またあそこに。
I should find some place to collect myself. That's right. I can always go back there. I'm guessing where a body is.
そういえば、今日はマユにセビリアの理髪師の録画を頼まれていた。時間までに家へ帰らないと。
I almost forgot about taping that production of The Barber of Seville. I have to make sure I get home in time. And here I was again. I pressed the button on my phone to shut off the second alarm I'd set. If this time display were accurate, then there was no chance of making it home in time to record the show for Mayu.
後でマユに謝らないとな。
I'll have to apologize to her later. I slid my finger naturally, almost automatically, from shutting off the alarm to opening my folder of saved photos. Oh, that's his happy place, is looking at the pictures. There was no sound in the room other than the tone of my button presses, and virtually no light other than that which shone from the LCD screen, or so it seemed anyway. Yet this was my rock. In this place I could truly relax. Here, and here alone, I felt at peace. The air was filled with the overpowering aroma of blood and entrails. It would be enough to make most people vomit, but for me it was a smell to savor. Ugh. I'd even describe it as comforting. Perhaps it's because it reminded me that I was in her presence. She who decorated the wall like a flower in full bloom. When I sat across from her, I felt more at ease than I could possibly convey in words. Oh, that's Mayu, right? It's not the girl who was like opened up like a frog during a science experiment. That's Mayu who got thrown into the wall. That's why he's so comfortable with it. Oh no, it is her. Never mind. It was as if she'd always be here for me, as if she were waiting for me. And sure enough, whenever I felt weary or needed respite, the door to this infirmary would always open for me, despite its tendency to the contrary. Each time it did, too, I would always be drawn in, as if the room were swallowing me up. My eyes would always happen upon this offering first. Ugh, offering, gross. This girl upon the wall, slowly drying and slowly rotting, would always be there to greet me, and never once did I tire of the sight.
随分集まったな。死体の写真。
I'd begun talking to myself, or maybe I was talking to her. Within my phone's memory was stored some of man's most sensual, most voluptuous objects' dart, and she was the tip of the brush, the grand prelude. I'd amassed a whole other building's worth of beautiful sculptures to admire now. I was thrilled to bursting. Oh, God.
これだ。
This was the sculpture known as Mitsuki Yamamoto in life, but in death, she was my property, one of my many pieces of found art. Wait, that's Mitsuki? What? Those spirited eyes now dulled and clammy, those lips that spoke such harsh words now stained with blood, her abdomen shredded, her innards exposed. So alluring, so captivating was she now. Sometimes destroying that which is beautiful only serves to make it more beautiful. And truly, this was the proof.
しかし、
What the hell?
やっぱり残念だな。
It was a shame I could only gaze upon these gorgeous works of art within these school grounds. Before returning home with Mayu, I needed to erase every one of these photographs from my phone. It seemed like such a waste. The world in which I once dwelled was far too narrow-minded to accept these masterpieces. was often a hard place to call home. But as long as I had Mayu with me, I could endure. Or maybe he's gonna be like, or she could stay in the school with me forever. And to that end, this folder was an obstacle, a detriment, a hurdle to be overcome before I could rejoin the world of the living. I needed to delete it, to put it all behind me.
でもまあいいかまだ帰ってからで
Oh my gosh. Oh wow, okay, that's it. Okay. I'm glad to not be dealing with him for now. Oh, that was a really creepy fucking chapter. Ah. Meyer, chapter 6. Okay. Oh, we got lots of soulful testimonies, so we'll make sure to check those out at the end. Alright, wow, I am almost done. But then I got a lot of bad ends to do, so it'll take me some time. Oh, Yuka! We're playing as Yuka. Fantastic. We're going from Morishige to Yuka. Two of my least favorite characters. Ugh, okay. Fun, but that means we'll probably get to see that Kazuma guy, and he's nothing if not interesting. The first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was the ceiling of a dark, gloomy room with flickering, uncovered light bulbs. The random bursts of light they shone were so dim that they only just barely lit up the wood grain on the ceiling enough to see patterns in it. The back of my head hurt in the same way it would if someone had just pulled my hair really hard. I couldn't do anything about it though, so I just frowned and waited for it to subside. This whole chapter is just be her being like, I miss my brother, me. I have to go to the bathroom probably, and where's my brother that I am in love with? I still remember that, and that's one of the reasons why Yuka is just, ugh, I don't like her very much. I wondered if I'd hit my head somewhere. I can't remember a thing. I suddenly realized my feet weren't touching the ground. And there was a cold sensation all along my back. I must have been lying down on a hard surface. I tried to move, but both my arms and both my legs had gone to sleep and they wouldn't budge. I just have to keep lying here until they woke up. I gave up on moving and instead just stared up at the gloomy ceiling again. I don't like it. The wood grain looks like a person's face. I knew it wasn't actually a person, but it really did look like one, and he was glaring down at me with such a hateful expression. It was creepy. Why does it look familiar? Where have I seen that face before? Oh, that was it. It looked like the Scream, that Munch painting that we studied in class, except this face was screaming in anger. He hated me. I'm really starting to get scared now. Maybe it's not that her arms and legs are numb, but maybe she's tied down. Because wasn't it Kazuma? Didn't he want to cut her open? It wasn't one of the bad ends, like he put her, because it looks like she's in the science room, the science lab. Didn't he like put her on there and basically like vivisect her? Here we go. If only Big Brother were here with me. He'd just pat my head and laugh and tell me how silly I was being. Oh yeah, where is Big Brother? I was still a bit disoriented, but I turned and twisted my head as best as I could manage to see if I could find him anywhere nearby. Why was I sleeping in a place like this anyway? And why wasn't Big Brother at my side like he always was? I just can't believe, like, he knew what the charm was gonna do. Like, he knew what was gonna happen. Satoshi. And I understand he wanted to do it himself because he wanted to save his friends. Why the fuck would he let Yuka do that? Because you know that Yuka would listen to him if he's like, no, go to the other room. You're not allowed to do this. I can't believe he let her do that. It sounds like I'm blaming him, but like, come on, dude. I thought you were supposed to like do whatever you could to protect your sister. She'd listen to you. She'd be the one person who would listen to you if you had told her not to do the charm.
私はずっとおトイレに行きたくて、でも途中でお兄ちゃんとはぐれちゃって。
Okay, so this is after. This is when they're separate. I bet she is, because this Kazuma's guy's gonna show up. Because why would she be on... She said she felt something like cold. She's on top of one of those tables. I bet she's tied down. Big brother and I were looking all over for a bathroom so I could go pee, and we got separated. Why were we in the school to begin with? Maybe the charm failed and this was our punishment. Maybe I was the one who messed it up. I probably shouldn't even have been there. Yeah, absolutely. And if I hadn't asked him to help me try to find a bathroom, we wouldn't be separated right now. I should have just held his hand and not let go. I could have lasted a little longer without peeing. Then we'd still be together. What happened to me after that? That's right. I finally found a bathroom, but when I went inside... There were people hanging in there. Lots of people. I was so freaked out, I went back into the hall and collapsed on the floor, and then... Yep, Kazuma. And then I was talking with someone. It was a boy who'd gotten separated from his little sister, I think. He said he'd help me find Big Brother. His name... Oh, Kizami, not Kaz... What was I calling him? Kazuma? That's right, his name was Yuya Kizami. It hurts, it really hurts. Why can't I move? Why? I then realized I couldn't see my arms. Where were they? Why weren't they at my sides? They were still numb too, so I couldn't feel where they were either, but I tried my best to move them anyway. Yep. I hate when I'm right sometimes. Am I tied up? I thought that maybe the reason I couldn't feel my arms or legs and couldn't move was because I was tied up really tight and it was cutting off my circulation. Come on, move. With some effort, I was finally able to move my fingertips. I started feeling everything I could, grateful even for this little bit of reassurance. This episode's just gonna be a lot of Yuka crying, I think. A rope around my wrist had been tied up tight and looped many times over, and with the circulation trickling back into my hands, it was really painful. I was so scared it felt like I'd forgotten how to breathe. Here he comes. Somebody's coming. Footsteps were echoing from out in the hallway. They stopped right in front of this room. Yeah, he likes it when you call him that. I remember him being like, you can be my little sister. I wriggled in place and screamed as loud as I could. I didn't even care about the old splintery rope cutting into my wrists and ankles anymore. Man, I hated when I first saw him. I was like, oh, who's this guy? He's pretty cute. Because A, I didn't realize that he was a high schooler. He looked older and he sounded older. And just like now that I know what he really is, but he still has a nice voice. I'll say that. Here we go. Episode 6, Meyer. So this is probably going to be everything that led up to that. Or, no, we're going right back to, okay.
ゆかちゃん。
He was looking at me with a caring, sympathetic smile on his face. He seemed to be really concerned about me.
助けてください。気がついたら縛られてて。
ああ、それは僕が縛ったんだよ。大事な妹ともう二度とはぐれないようにね。
妹って、
君は僕の大事な妹だ。だから僕と離れないようにしっかり縛っておかないと。
どうして、キザミさん、嘘でしょ。
So when Sachiko was saying before about how every once in a while a human comes in who seems to like feed off the school, Kizami is definitely one of those people as well.
どうして？君こそ僕の妹なのになぜわからないんだい？
わかりません。だって私は。
ゆかはまだ小さいからわからないのかもしれないね。
It's like, dude, she's not 5, although sometimes I forget that she's not 5. She's what, like 13? She's in 7th grade, right?
大丈夫。これからお兄ちゃんが教えてあげるよ。
キザミさん。
僕たち兄弟はこれから分かり合うんだ。
His eyes looked like they were staring far off into the distance, like he was in a trance.
怖いよ、お兄ちゃん。
I'm scared. Big brother, I'm scared. Why was he doing this? Why did he tie me up? And why did he look so happy about it? I didn't get any of it. Every hair on my body was standing on end. I was terrified.
逃げられないの。
The corners of my eyes were on fire. I couldn't stop myself from crying. Tears were flowing down my face like a waterfall. Kizami smiled, then reached out and touched my cheek. His hand was ice cold. It was like there was no blood flowing through it at all, like the hand of a dead person. Or me. Hey, don't... I have the coldest... My husband jokes, he calls me like lizard woman because I have like my feet and my hands are so cold all the time. So I don't appreciate saying that I have the hands of a dead person. Or implying that someone who has like cold hands is like somehow like an evil person and can't be trusted.
さあ、僕に魂の輝きを見せてくれ。君のすべてを。
Yeah. Oh, I don't like that voice in my ear. He slowly and hesitantly took his hand off my cheek and then began walking around me towards my feet. Then he gently grabbed my skirt with one hand and drew a knife from his breast pocket with the other. Oh boy.
It's show time! そう、それだよ。僕が求めていたのはその声、その顔だ。恐怖と絶望が頂点に達したとき、魂は最高の輝きを放つ。それをもっと見たい。それを僕に向けてくれ。
Yeah, him and Morshi definitely have some similarities.
もっと輝けるはずなんだ。大丈夫。お兄ちゃんが手伝ってあげるよ。鮮血にまみれ、痛みにもがき。苦しむ姿は今よりもっと綺麗に違いない。どうしたんだい、ユカ。休んじゃダメだよ。まだまだこれからなんだからね。さあ、
お兄ちゃんって呼んでごらん。
Why is this the creepiest episode ever? We were done with Morishige, then we jump right into Kizami. Ugh.
お兄ちゃん、助けて。お兄ちゃん、助けに来て。
何を言っているんだい、ユカ。お兄ちゃんはほら、君の目の前にいるじゃないか。
ゆかのお兄ちゃん。
The panic and fear just kept getting more and more overpowering. I think I was hyperventilating. But Kizami showed no mercy. Instead, he reached out and grabbed my neck.
本当に生きているウサギはうるさいな。
息ができない。
Can't breathe. Is Yuka just like, is she just dying or like this is the bad end for her? I can't remember like how she, like I don't know if she was able to get out of this. I think this was a bad end in the first corpse party if he caught you.
なんて細い首なんだ。しなやかで柔らかい。君の頸動脈の太さと頸椎の形がよくわかるよ。なんて戦場的な作りをしているんだ。君の数字は。
Eh.
苦しいかい？苦しいよね。
I feel kind of sorry for Yuka's voice actress. It's just a lot of crying and choking noises.
ユカが悪いんだよ。僕以外のお兄ちゃんはここにはいないはずなのに。
With that, he let go of my neck, but then hastily pulled the knife in his hands right up to my face. He made sure I could see every inch of it clearly and just held it there, slowly turning it for what felt like an eternity.
ちゃんと見えてるかな？ユカ。
The knife was stained with red splatter marks. No, not even red, just dark. It wasn't a color I knew well, but there was only one thing it could have been. Blood.
ああ、これかい？心配しなくてもいいよ。少し黒崎で汚れているけど。
Okay, Kurosaki.
まだよく切れるから。
That's the guy that was at the beginning of the last chapter, right? The one who was with Yamamoto? Because we know that he killed him. I know for sure. I was shivering so hard I could feel my teeth vibrating. A chill ran through every part of me, as if I were so afraid it had actually lowered my body temperature. The chattering coming from inside my mouth was getting louder and louder, to such an extent that even I was getting distracted by it.
いい顔だ。
No, 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 no.
少
No.
し布が邪魔だな。
No, 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 no. Kizami suddenly tore my uniform, exposing my stomach.
なんだ？この水風船のようなお腹は、たっぷり内臓が詰まっているじゃないか。
He laid the knife blade flat across my belly button, and the sudden sensation of cold metal against my skin sent even more shivers up and down my spine.
痛かったら声を上げていいからね。恥ずかしいことじゃないんだよ。 もう終わりかい？どうしたんだい、ユカ。まさかこれで終わりじゃないだろう。せっかく欲しかった妹が手に入ったのに。
My throat was completely dry. I actually wanted to cry for help, but the walls of my air pipes were sticking together. Breathing was hard enough.
返事は、ユカ。
Yuka.
いい子だ。
じゃあ本番に行くよ。
Fear had taken over. I couldn't hold myself back. I knew it wouldn't go over well, and I knew it would hurt, but I forced myself to cry out.
Kimi no o-nii-chan wa boku daro? 謝りなさい、ユカ。違うだろう。お兄ちゃんごめんなさいだ。もっと心を込めて。僕がお兄ちゃんじゃない。この
Nope. Oh.
なんだ、今気のせいか。
Did I imagine it? Of course. Of course. Of course.
話するほどに僕が嫌いなのか。興味深いな。そんな格好になってまで兄貴を呼ぶのか。なんて哀れな。僕の可愛い妹だ。今気持ちよくさせてあげるよ。もうそんな哀れな姿で泣かなくていい。哀れ。
Pitiful.
今俺はこの子を見て哀れと言ったか。
Did I just look down at this girl and call her pitiful? Are we gonna be playing from Kizami's point of view? What? Why?
なぜ哀れと思った。
Why am I feeling pity for her?
何なんだ
Wait,
この気分は。
this is like the opposite of what happens to other people in the heavenly host, where normally they descend into madness, whereas him it's like he's gaining humanity.
かわいそう。
The poor girl.
俺にもそんな感情が。
Is Kizami about to get a redemption arc? What? How is it that even I can exhibit such useless, empty
俺
emotions?
にもまだそんな感情が生まれる未来が残されているというのか。
Is there still some remnants of potential within a man like me to birth these paltry platitudes?
他の奴らとは違う。この俺にも。
I'm not like the others, and yet, even I. So, I can't remember from the first game, like, if he was just like a complete psychopath even before he came to Heavenly Host, or if he just, like, or Shige just kind of, like, more easily gave in to the temptations. But I think I think it was basically, like, he was just either, like, a sociopath or a psychopath. He was just, pretending to have human emotions, and then once he came to Heavenly Host, he's just like, well, I don't have to worry about pretending anymore. I can let loose who I really am. Are we actually... Oh my gosh. We are too. Okay, so this is going to confirm, I think, that, yeah, he's always been a crazy person. Wow.
ハサミを持ったと言うんです。わざとやったとおっしゃるんですか？私たちが駆けつけた時、彼は血だらけになった自分の手を見て笑っていました。とにかくこちらではもう対応しかねます。 お引き取りください。待ってください。
なんだ、あいつの目潰れなかったのか。
俺は幼い頃から命に思いやりを
Alright, so he is a
他
sociopath.
人の心を感じたりする方法がわからなかった。
Ever since I was little, I've been unable to put myself in another man's shoes. I've possessed no sympathy, no empathy, and no respect for life.
次第に親たちはあくまでも見るような目で俺を疎んじるようになり、
Slowly but surely, my parents started to see me like I was some kind of devil. They shunned me. They ignored me.
兄と姉ばかりに愛情を注ぎ始めた。
They'd
成
focus...
績優秀で人格者の兄と姉ばかり。
They'd focus all their love and affection on my older brother and sister, on my highly successful and generally upstanding brother and sister.
さすが周りが揃って認める人格者は違うと思ったよ。
Everybody liked them, and I began to realize just how different life was for people who are well regarded.
親でさえ諦めた俺を兄と姉だけは接し続けていたんだ。
And since my parents had given up on me, those siblings were the only ones who ever looked after me.
特に兄貴はその吐き気がするほどの優等生ぶりを振りかざし、熱心に俺をいい弟にしようとした。
My brother was particularly obnoxious, always flaunting his honor student status and trying to make me into a good little boy. It was sickening.
あいつは兄の立場を利用して俺に命令し、俺にしつこくつきまとった。
He'd use his standing as my elder to boss me around and would even follow me to make sure I was behaving.
そうだ。小学生の頃、俺は一度だけ本気で兄にぶつかったことがあったんだ。
But I did fight back once. Back in elementary school, I stood up to my older brother.
なんてことしてるんだ。ヒューヤ、何を燃やしたんだ。
何って動物だよ。ああ、匂うから怒ってんのか。しょうがないじゃん。今殺したばかりでまだ血が残って。いって。何すんだよ、バカに。
I honestly had no idea why he'd struck me, but this was the first time I'd ever been on the receiving end of violence, and I was pissed. I tried to jump him, but he was just too big. I didn't stand a chance.
どうして命を大切にしない。どうしてこんなことを。殺すなんて。なぜこんなことするんだ、ユウヤ。
うるせえ。俺が拾ってきたんだ。切り殺そうが何しようが俺の勝手だろ。
I couldn't believe the asshole actually threw a punch at me. I was determined to hit him back. I wasn't going to give up until I succeeded. Unfortunately, his size really was an insurmountable obstacle for me. My attempt to fight back was cut short by another, much harder blow to the same cheek, but as we know, he got quite big, and I'm guessing he probably did something to his brother later.
黙れ。
That was twice now. I was so going to make him pay. I swore I'd injure him. My punch was going to connect. If I couldn't hit him in the head, any other part of his body would do just as well.
くそ。先に生まれただけで偉そうにしやがって。俺がもっとでかければ。
そういう問題じゃないだろう。成長しろ、ユウヤ。本当に頭の悪い男でなければ、いずれ理解できるはずだ。今ある体格差や年の差はすぐに何の意味もなくなる。大事なのは心の成長なんだ。他人の痛みがわかる人間になってくれ。
I could have sworn I saw tears welling up in his eyes. The hell was that about? He just beat me up, and here he was looking sad.
俺は兄貴とは違う。
違わない。お前は俺の弟だ。ずっとお前は俺の弟だ。それは一生変わらない。
Ugh, I can still remember what a disgustingly sentimental look he was giving me when he said that.
死ねよ。死ね死ね死ね。兄貴なんか殺してやる。何すんだよ。
ゆうや、やめなさい。
話せよ。待てよバカに。
いいか、大事なのは心の成長だ。胸に刻み込んでおけ。
偽善者がって思いっきりぶん殴りやがって。
ゆうや、大丈夫？頭打たなかった？
ほっとけよ。
今はまだわからなくても、きっとあんたが大人になれば理解できるから。
俺のことを理解できないのは姉貴たちの方だろ。なんで俺が一番下なんだよ。下の兄弟が欲しい。
Oh.
俺ならもっと理解して絶対に可愛がってやるのに。
Oh boy. Well, okay, so now we know where the whole thing about like a younger brother, sister. I love the piss. Like, what does that mean? Like, I think it's more like he wants someone that he can basically overpower. That's what it seems like. In control.
私もあんたが大好きよ。
はあ？
私たちは分かってるから。あんたが本当は優しい子だってこと。この子のお墓作ってあげよう。ね、ゆうや。
Sounds like he actually has some really nice siblings.
そんなんゴミ箱に捨てりゃいいだろ。
ゆうや、あんたこのままじゃ一生一人ぼっちになっちゃうよ。
My sister grabbed me by both my shoulders and looked me right in the eyes when she said this. But I didn't care about a word she was saying, so I just pushed her away.
俺のことが好きだから、俺のことを分かったふりをするな、この嘘つき女。
ゆうや、嘘って。
俺は誰も信じない。誰にも負けない。俺に嘘をつくやつは許さない。
絶対だ。そうだった。この頃からだ。
That's right. I've been like this for a long time.
人間の本当の気持ちを。そう。正直な反応を見るにはどうすべきか考えるようになったのは。
Always try to figure out how to intuit what others are truly feeling to get honest reactions out of them.
周りの連中を理解できない俺のことを理解してくれる者などいない。
No one seems to understand that I'm incapable of understanding the people around me.
処世術を得た俺は目立たず毎日を過ごすため常にそういう自分を演じるようになっていた。
That's why I've made a point of studying the world and keeping to myself, simply trying my best not to stand out. I play the part of a loner.
つまらない話に興味を持ったかのように笑い、同情したふりを装い、傷ついた顔を作ってやった。
I pretend I'm interested in boring conversations and smile. I pretend I care about the problems of others and fake a concerned expression.
偽りの仮面に気づかず、笑顔で言い寄ってくるクラスメイトたち。奴らは全部嘘っぱちだ。
Not a single one of my classmates have ever caught on to the fact that it's all just make-believe. They greet me with smiles, and I see through their lies.
本質も見えていないくせに、上辺だけで人を分かったようなふりをする。
They all act like they can judge a person based on his outward actions without ever even seeing his true nature.
俺の簡単な演技に騙される。頭の軽くて愚かな、蔑視すべき存在。
Every one of them is completely deceived by my act. They're all empty-headed fools worthy of only my contempt.
兄貴たちと同じだ。俺に嘘をつく、許されざる存在。
They're just like my brother and sister, unforgivable cretins who lie to my face.
だから試したいと思っていたんだ。
That's why I've decided to conduct a little experiment.
他人を本当に理解することができる方法。俺を理解させる方法。
A way to see if I can really understand other people, and if I can make them understand me.
気づかなかったろ。俺はずっとお前らを殺したいと思ってたって。
I wonder if any of you were aware that all I ever wanted was to kill you.
死に際に立つ人間は正直だ。動物どもと同じ。 みんな正面からこちらに向き合って本物の会話をしてくれた。
Like animals, humans are honest only when they're on the brink of death. They all look me right in the eye and engage me in real, true dialogue.
一部を除いては。
With rare exception.
いい返事だ。それでいいんだ。もっと見せてみろよ。お前の裸の感情を。そうか。
Yes, sadly.
お前のためなんかに。
悲鳴も命乞いも噛み殺して絶命した奴がいたんだった。
There was one who held back the screams and the begging and simply passed away in near silence.
なんだそりゃ。抵抗のつもりか？
Oh yes, Mitsuki, yeah.
この時のなんと満たされなかったことか。
It was a thoroughly unsatisfying kill.
もっと理解し合おうぜ。
There needs to be more mutual understanding.
この空間に来て俺でも少しは変われるのかとの期待も少しはあった。
I'd expected to see some change within myself after coming to this
だ
place.
が人を殺めた後ですら俺に人間らしい感情は湧かなかった。
But there was nothing. I killed but felt no remorse, no sympathy, none of the emotions I was supposed to feel.
ゆうや、命は平等なんだ。ちゃんと覚えておけよ。
命は平等？ああ、確かに平等だったさ。殺す時は同じだったよ。人間も動物も虫けらも。でもまあ殺す感触は同じでもさすがに人を殺めてしまった罪はもう引き返せないか。後悔はなかったがもう自分には欲しい未来すら浮かばなかった。
I didn't regret what I'd done, but it did make me realize I had no prospects now, no future.
なんだ
What was
今は
that?
今俺は誰かを
Did I just
憐れんで
feel pity for someone?
お腹パンパン。
そうこの感覚だ。この俺が相手を憐れんでいる。
Yes, that was it even then. This odd sensation of taking pity on another human being.
そんなに震えて大丈夫かい？
おトイレに。
なんでここまで我慢を？
さっきお兄ちゃんとはぐれちゃって。
そのはぐれたお兄ちゃんに言わなかったのかい？おトイレに行きたいって。
だってずっとおトイレはどこも使えなくて、あとおトイレ以外のところでしたって。お兄ちゃんに思われたくなかったから。
献身的な妹。そうだこれだ。
What a devoted little sister. Yes, this is just what I've been looking for.
自分より弱い存在守ってあげなきゃ。これだよこれだ。俺が欲しかったのは。
A being far weaker than I, whom I'm tasked to protect. This is it. This is exactly it. She's like, why are you laughing? Yeah.
どうかしたんですか？
この俺が哀れと感じたこのことならまだ未来はあるんじゃないか。
I had this girl by my side, this girl upon whom I actually took pity. Then maybe there could still be a future even for a man like me.
そうだ。哀れむ感情があるならまだ罪を許される要素があるはずだ。
Indeed, if I'm capable of feeling sorry for someone, then maybe there still exists some means of atoning for my sins.
この子と暮らせれば。
If I could just live with this little girl.
そうするか。俺と暮らすか。
私やっぱり一人でお兄ちゃん探します。
一人で？どうして？ようやく見つけたのに。
After I finally found a little
ど
sister,
うして？こいつも俺から離れていくんだ。
why must even she distance herself from me?
ラン！ラビットラン！ダメだ。一緒に行こう。ほら、兄さんの言うことを聞かないからだよ。ユカ。
It's so creepy. Alright, before we wrap up this episode, sorry for ending at a weird spot, but it's been going on for a little while. Let's check out the soulful testimonies. We got a couple of them, so let's see here. I can't wait to hear the voice actor for Morshiga. He's just like, what? Why do they keep having me? Like, I know this is the character, but I felt very strange saying some of these things. Wow, he even does it in... Wow. Alright, I admire the commitment.
サクタロ役の大変お疲れ様でございました。そう、クリアね、とりあえず、皆さん、したということなので、本当に、この怖い怖いシナリオをよくぞ一人で、暗い部屋でヘッドフォンを、しながらクリアしたなと、耐えられたなと思います。怖くて、シナリオを読みながらも、これ多分プレイされてる方々は、一人やると怖いんだろうなと思いながらも、なおかつですね、お芝居でできればもっとその怖さを、表現できればなと思って、全力で今回サク太郎、再び演じることをすごい喜びとしながら、演じさせていただきました。コープスパーティー本当に自分自身も大変ファンなので、ぜひですねこの作品、次へとまたつなげるようにですね、皆さん何回もこれをプレイして、次回作なんかね、できればね絵が動いちゃったりなんかしたりとかね、そういうのをぜひ目標にして我々も頑張っていきたいなと思いますので、今後ともコープスパーティーを、よろしくお願いしたいなと思います。それでは皆さんまた会う日までお疲れ様でした。
Hey, now we've got so you three, and I think yeah, that's it.
はい、皆さんどうも、黒崎健介役の与永翼です。ねえ、こうやって再度登場させていただけるとは思わなかったのでめっちゃ嬉しいです。何よりも生きてます。生きてる黒崎くんは、噛んじゃった、黒崎くんはいいですね。やっぱりなんかね、こう明るくなりますね。こうね、コープスパーティーの中でこうちょっと太陽のような存在になれたらいいな。また出たいよ。また黒崎を出してください。お願いします。ということで、皆さん最後まで楽しんでください。黒崎健介役の与永翼でした。
皆さんこんにちは。こんばんは。おはようございます。山本美月役の戸松遥です。珍しくホラーゲームに挑戦させていただきました。怖いです。すごく演じていて自分もなんかこう本当にゾクゾクしてしまう、ガタガタ来てしまう、自分は巻き込まれたくないなとこう思いつつ、そしてこう描写がすごくリアルだったので私自身すごくハラハラしながら、演じさせていただきましたけれども、個人的にホラーゲームは大好きなので、一ファンとして、楽しくプレイできたらなと思っております。そして、今回ですね、私人生初めてダミーヘッドマイクを使ってですね、声を当てさせていただきまして、すごく、アフレコ楽しかったです。そんな怖いリアルなダミーヘッドマイクを使った様子をですね、皆様ぜひ楽しんでいただければなと思います。 どうもありがとうございました。戸松遥でした。
クリアおめでとうございます。袋井正人役菊本平です。コープスパーティー怖いですよね。台本読んだ段階で相当怖かったんですけども、先ほど最終チェックを喫茶店でやってまして、店員さんから変な目でじーっと見られてました。まあだいぶ顔に出てたみたいなんで、その喫茶店にはもうしばらくはいけないかなと思ってます。そんな思いを込めた本作ですが、また怖い思いをしたくなったら2度3度と楽しんでもらえたらなと思ってます。ありがとうございました。
Alright, guys, that will wrap up probably the creepiest episode that we've dealt with so far. Not even the ghost or the gore, just dudes being creeps. And we're gonna get more of dudes being creeps next episode, as we're gonna get more into Kizami and learning more about him. And it seems like they're trying to actually give him some emotion, or trying to maybe, I don't know if they're trying to actually redeem him in some way. I don't think that's possible, but it is interesting getting backstories and fleshed out characteristics of characters that we didn't know too much from the original game. But he's a creeper, but that makes it more interesting for me for sure. So we'll see what happens with Yuka and Kizami in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye. Special shoutouts to my top tier patrons: Nana, Sparky, Dumbass Loser, Tequila Mockingbird, Puncake G, Derek Nickel, Harry Gazif, Asborn Kennedy, and Icognito.